Hi everyone, and welcome to this bit more of an interesting video. So what's happened is I made a video about Kirat, etc. And just messaging on right now. On here, just a call. I'm literally messaging like the subject right now. So I made a video about the whole Kirat Sweet Bobby thing, yeah? And not gonna lie, it did well. It did some good numbers and it's still going. If you want to watch it, I'll link it somewhere. You'll find it, you know what to do. And I've been getting comments, of course. It's been a great place to discuss a situation because there's so much to discuss. Now, what came from the back of it? A lot of different things. One of which is the content of today's video. Somebody got in touch with me and said, I catfished somebody, right? And there are things that haven't been mentioned here, like in the comments and stuff, or maybe even in the podcast, which I would like to discuss or have a take on type thing. And I thought, let's just go for it. Let's just get the ball rolling. Let's have a call. Let's see what's going on. Checked if they were comfortable with the call. They're happy with the call, so let's do it. This was literally about 2 days ago that this all started, okay? Interestingly, that account is called Being Caroline. And I'm like, that's interesting. And then the account which messaged me to arrange this, which we'll be making the phone call on, is on Instagram, and that's got a different name. All I know is that this person was about 15, 16 when they catfished the person, and now they're about 28 years old. So in a way, the age is the same as the whole Sweet Bobby thing, in terms of age and stuff. So we're going to see how it goes. Right now, I don't know if this is a male, female. I don't know if this is a prank or anything. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe we've been catfished.
Well, maybe. So that's what's happening. All right. So here we go. And I'm about to call the person right now. I hope this goes on speakerphone. I don't really make calls on Insta. I don't really use Insta. So this is going to be interesting from the outset. Are you ready?
Ready.
Let's see where this goes, guys. Am I just going to get pranked or what? I'm hoping that the microphones do justice to this because I've only got 2 mics. This is a 3 mic setup right now. Like, you know, me, subject, and somebody else over there. Here we go, guys. You ready? I'm just going to make sure that this is nice and loud.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, good, not so bad, not so bad. So, this is all very interesting, all very new to us.
Yeah, no, I can't believe that I'm right here, like, actually doing this. This is crazy.
You're basically like our first guest as well, so thanks for that, and thanks for kind of trusting us with it and stuff, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, of course. I don't even know how I stumbled across your podcast. I guess I was just, like, in a, like, rabbit hole of Sweet Bobby stuff on YouTube, and then I watched your 3-part series, so...
Yes.
Yeah, I guess...
I think you came across ours because it's probably the best one out there, I think.
That's right, exactly. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Yes, thank you very much. Right, so all I know basically is that you had catfished somebody when you were about 15 years old.
Yeah, I guess it was more like 13, 14. Probably like 14 years old, yeah. So it was in secondary school.
And was
8 and 9.
Wow. Was it kind of like the Sweet Bobby thing where you made like 1 million profiles or...
Honestly, it's the similarities are crazy, and that's why I was like, because I kind of blocked out that I ever did that. I mean, it's so crazy that I did. And it wasn't for long, but for the time that I did do it, yes, I had created one person, and then I created like 3 friends that were friends with this person.
Wow.
Yeah, which was really weird.
Was it Facebook?
On Facebook, yeah.
Wow, interesting.
So who did you catfish?
So it was my friend at school, and we had like a little group of us, and I think I can't remember at the time. I didn't target anyone.
Yeah.
Oh no, I actually, now thinking about it, I do remember why I created the account. So I created the account. Sorry, I mean, you guys asked me questions and...
No, you go for it. It's very interesting. Go ahead. Yeah, go on. You created the account.
So I went to a girls' school, and we didn't know any boys or anything. Like, it was just completely girls, and we were quite young. And I remember creating the Facebook account to know a boy. So I basically created a guy who was like this cool skater dude, and he added me, and I like used it to make myself look like I knew a boy in school in year 8.
Wow, I get it.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Okay.
That's actually quite interesting, actually. It's an interesting, like, angle perspective.
So you wasn't intentionally trying to get a particular person, hook a person?
No.
Yeah.
So that's how it happened. So I created the account to look cool, I guess, quote unquote. And then, like, I made him add, like, some of the girls in my friendship group as well. And then they all thought that, I mean, it was, like, clearly a catfish. It was, like, a random, like, you know, back in the day, like, scene kids were, like, the thing. And,
Yeah,
he was, like, basically an image of a scene guy, like, that you would find anywhere on, like, MySpace or whatever.
A scene Kai? I don't know what a scene Kai is.
So it's like there was like emo people and then scene people, so they're like colourful. It was like an American thing more than a British thing.
I know about emos and stuff. Okay, I get you. That kind.
Yeah,
Okay.
like it was a skater dude, like that kind of vibe. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. I was a skater, you see, so I feel like I
maybe it was your picture.
No, not cool enough. No. Right. Okay. So that's how it started, and then I take it like what I'm guessing that like a friend of yours or somebody added this guy. And,
no. So I can't remember. Like, it's such a long time ago, and it wasn't for that long. It was probably for like 2 months, 3 months. It wasn't like as elaborate as this.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't remember what happened. But in the end, like, to cut a long story short, he ended up being I'm talking about him like he's real. I ended up adding like some of my friends in my school on this account, and then one of them who, and this is the spin on the Sweet Bobby that like I haven't heard from like your podcast.
Yeah,
is like one of my friends. She was like quite lonely, and like the other girls would get loads of attention from these like random accounts that you'd add online.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, like, in my weird, corrupted, like, horrible brain, I was like, oh, if I like speak to her through this account, it will make her feel like less, like maybe make her feel more popular, and that she's also getting the attention that the other girls are getting.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, so it was really, really horrible.
But I get well, in a way though, like what you were doing was you were trying to do something positive, really, in a way there. I think like that's somebody who's not very popular and stuff, and you've tried to make them feel less
liked.
Unpopular, or a bit more liked. Yeah,
it wasn't necessarily like she wasn't popular. It was just that like one of the girls had got all of the attention. I knew that this girl in particular like liked this person that the other girl had taken, and she was feeling quite down. And I was like, you know what, I had the account that I made, like, and I didn't even use it to catfish people. But then when this situation happened where like my friend was quite not feeling great about herself, I was like, oh well, I'll just do this thing. And I like messaged her on it, or like added her, and she messaged him, and she would instigate the conversations, and then I felt bad, so then I would like reply, and it like just got out of hand. And then
that's interesting, that because that's kind of this whole thing with Sweet Bobby as well. It's this thing where like it got out of hand, and like I was trying to end it, but I couldn't end it because then you became too emotional, so I didn't want to end it. That is an interesting situation that you're in there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and like my situation didn't last that long because I mean I wasn't very good at it. But I do remember like when I was I was just a young girl. Like I had no idea what I was doing, and but like I remember like when I would be getting like sussed out, or like when someone would kind of clock what was going on and I wasn't real. Like I would make another account to kind of go in and message the person and be like, oh, this is my friend, like, and try and make it seem like, oh, this character has a network, and like it's not just this one person, these other people are like backing up the fact that he exists.
Wow. So you did have a few accounts. So how many accounts do you think you made? Like maybe 5 or something?
So there was like the main guy and he had 2 friends, maybe 3, but I remember like there being 2 friends and then me having to like have different browsers open and like log in through like different, like I would use like Google Chrome and like Safari or like whatever the equivalent was, like, and try and like, and I would message like off each one to try and make it all look real.
Wow, that's busy.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah, I'm not proud of it. I'm really ashamed of it, and I completely blocked out that I did it.
So how?
Until my sister reminded me, actually, when we were watching Sweet Bobby.
Oh, so your sister knew about it.
wow.
How did it end?
So again, another parallel here with the Sweet Bobby thing, but I started like it got out of hand, and I found like myself like speaking to my friend, and like it would start getting like, it would never get romantic, like we were just quite young, but like I could tell that like she wanted to video call, or like she would like wanted it to be boyfriend and girlfriend. It never got to like a romantic level, but like she wanted to like progress it. And then I would like try and like get out of it by like killing him off, and I also tried to do that.
Oh wow.
So then yeah, I did that, but then there was this like part of me that was dealing with like, wow, I've just like made my friend really get invested in this person, and then now I'm gonna kill him. Then I'd like feel guilty and then want to come back and give that attention back to her because I felt guilty for what I was doing. But then it was like weird because obviously I was continuing it. But yeah, so I basically like tried to kill him off, and then I was just trying to jog my memory. I tried. Oh, he did. Yeah, so I did kill him. Oh my god, this is so crazy. I killed him off, and then I got the friend account to message my friend and say like, oh, he left this note for you, and like this note says how he felt about you. And I think basically one of the girls in our friendship group told her older sister, and her older sister was like, this just doesn't seem real. And then they realized that someone was catfish. They didn't know who it was. They didn't know it was me. And then like as soon as that happened, I just like stopped doing it. And then like a few months later, I came clean to like my best friend, and I was like, it was me. Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, you told her in the
Not
end.
to the one that I was doing it to, but like another girl in the friendship group.
Oh.
And I think they all knew because my friendships changed after that.
Oh, it probably like slipped out type thing.
Yeah.
Somebody let it out. Yeah. What I find interesting is like there's like a circular compassion through all of this. Like it started off to kind of make someone feel a bit better. Then every time it's like ended, there's been some more compassion in there. Like he left you a note, you know.
And this is like what I think about Simran. Is I don't know if I'm just like putting myself in her shoes and like why I would do something so evil, and like just thinking back to like when everything started with them. Like I think Simran was trying to make herself get attention from like Bobby's brother or something.
Yeah.
And like kind of giving herself that validation.
Yeah.
And then like her, like Kirat, who was maybe like going in and on off relationship and like struggling romantically, like she was like, okay, let me just like put this cool figure into her life as well, like, and give her some kind of excitement as well. And then like, that's why I don't think it was like romantic between them. I do believe that it wasn't romantic.
I actually believe it wasn't romantic too. Like I know that it's a long time, but what gets it for me is Kirat's got this thing about like she befriends people and she keeps them on a friend level, very friendly or very brotherly, and those are her potentials, like boyfriend or whatever eventually. And I was like, if she actually has done the friendly thing, then there is a chance that it hasn't got to adult conversation.
Yeah.
And yeah, and what you just said there is actually, it is a very interesting take on it actually, because you were taking somebody potentially out of a dark place in a way, and it started off unintentionally because you created that profile so you'd look cool, but then it got then it got used for something else, and it was kind of taking somebody out of a dark place, and that's what Simran kind of claims. That's like the only thing we know about Simran is the whole thing of, yeah, well, you were in a dark place, I was in a dark place, and we both needed this.
Yeah, I like when I heard that bit, I was like, she's very delusional to think. I mean, but then it's like with Kira, like where I'm looking at the situation, I'm like, how could you not see that this was all like fake?
Yeah.
And Simran's probably looking at it and thinking like it's so clear that this wasn't all real.
Mm-hmm.
But for her, it genuinely was. So Simran's thinking that like Kira was involved in like this make-believe world when actually she fully believed it.
Yeah.
But to Simran, it was so far-fetched that Kirat had to have known.
Yeah. What was mad was like Simran was doing like she was going down the roads of, I'm gonna get even more nasty towards you, so it drives you away, so I don't have to go away.
Yeah,
you'll go away. But yeah, Kirat still stayed.
Yeah.
Spot on. I think like what you just said is like so accurate. It's like I can see that the patterns of behaviour that Simran was doing was to get rid of Bobby. Like, oh, he died, like he's gone, and then all of a sudden he's back, and then like she started being so evil and horrible to push like Kirat away, but then Kirat like would always be there.
Yeah.
And I think like I do think that Simran tried to, in her weird way, try to get out of it like scotch free and like not have to come clean, but then couldn't, like her own like obsession with it wouldn't let her.
Yeah, so to a degree it was her own obsession, like yeah, I don't know, what do you think that Simran in any level or whatever wanted a relationship with Kirat?
Like romantically?
Or at very least companionship? I kind of think that
a few people have suggested that theory.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because if you think about the amount of time that was dedicated to this relationship, and because it was all online as well, I do think that Simran has a lot of, like, she wants that relationship, but I think she's detaching from the fact that it's actually Kirat. Kirat.
Yeah.
Like, I think she's complete, like, she knows, it's almost become this online friend of hers. Like, she's gotten rid of the Kirat aspect, really.
Yeah.
Like, just able to detach from that.
Like,
and then it became,
like it becomes some company. This is some company that I'm just like, you know, this has become part of my daily, weekly routine, etc. Yeah. Almost where a partner fits in, or somebody who you're seeing, or something, you know.
Yeah, she enjoyed having a double life. Simran did. She enjoyed that.
Yeah, and having that secret life type thing.
Yeah.
She did have a partner as well, didn't she?
Oh yeah, I think she did. Yeah. Yeah, because she had what was it, an engagement party, or was it where she got married? But she did something where she told like all of the guests to put nothing on social media. Yeah. So that is wild. And do you know what I find interesting as well, from what you've mentioned about your story as well, is like how easy it is, in a way, to give that compassion to that person. So, for example, you've got Kirat, and Bobby has just like left her, let's say, and she proper physically feels down in the dumps, can't go to work, mad stressed or whatever. And all it takes from you is a text, and that person
Yeah.
is back on like full
Yeah.
feel in it. You know. So
I genuinely think that like I do think that that's my take on it is like Simran in a weird way was providing Kirat with like a really committed relationship, like, and when she pull away, obviously Kirat wouldn't feel well, so then Simran's like, oh, I'm actually just going to jump back in and like give her a little bit more to make her feel better, and then just escalated, like, to keep the secret hidden. I think that she would pull her away from all of her friends and family, like towards the end where she'd have to be on the phone all the time or like asked to go to the bathroom, and like she left her job and all of this stuff. Like, I think all of that was a control to make sure that the secret doesn't get released because of how horrible it is what she was doing. Like, I think she was battling with like keeping up with it to help to make Kirat feel good, but then also dealing with like how bad it is what she's doing.
Yeah.
So toxic.
Yeah, very toxic. Yeah, I can agree. Now, why all of this for me ties in as well, because as well, that was the legal perspective. The legal perspective was that Kirat, either you went along with this intentionally, or you had to face your like very lonely, dark life that you've got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, this really does go full circle, you know? Interesting. I just got to ask you, it's probably, of course, anonymous and it's not accurate, but your handle on YouTube, I can mention it, is that right? Can I mention it? I think I've already mentioned it, to be honest.
Yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
It's Being Caroline, and that just...
Oh my God.
It shouts like Catfish to me. So what's going on?
So it's actually hilarious that you mentioned that. So I think I created this YouTube channel back in those times, and yeah, I think I was like I wanted to make YouTube videos or something, but I didn't want my full name out there, like my real name. So I probably just put Being Caroline. I don't know why I put that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the only instance that I've ever catfished someone, and I just want to say it's so, like, at that time, and I know that Kirat talks about this a lot, about like, oh, you know, in this time, like, it was, you know, people had 2 Facebook accounts and all of this stuff. Like, at this, like, I think Simran is 2 years older than me. I'm 28 now. I don't know how old she is, but if my understanding's right, she's 2 years older than me. And at that time, like, catfishing wasn't catfishing. Like, you don't, like, it was just in the time that it was like happening. Like, people started to do it, so it was still like easy to kind of fall victim to it. You wouldn't really question if a fake account was fake or not. Like, for me anyway, at that time. So yeah,
I get you. I think it was very early days, and I actually prefer yours. I prefer your fake account because yours was like just a random guy, if you know what I mean. Whereas Kirat's was some guy in the community, apparently some very popular guy in the community. That's where I'm a bit like,
really weird,
real guy.
really weird.
yeah, weird, isn't it? And then he was apparently some kind of surgeon or something, but in real life he's a dentist and all this lot. And then I was like, you could have Googled that or something. You could have done... But your story, I prefer yours because yours is a completely random guy and it's a girls' school. So it's like, I get that. I get how all that would have worked and how knowing a guy at that age would have made you, you know, some kind of like stand out a little bit. And it could have helped with somebody else's feelings as well. It makes sense, and that's what's interesting.
It's super small, like small level catfish. It's still catfishing. It's still not right, but it's like super small level. But I think it does give an insight as to like how these things can start and how they can snowball. Like, within those 2 months, I had 3 different accounts that I was trying to manage myself, and I found myself creating crazy lies to try and like make sure that the secret isn't out, like deaths and all of this stuff. And
yeah, no,
I can't even imagine a year of doing that, like how big it could get.
yeah. She she would have definitely had like a massive like file of different passwords and life stories and stuff, and that's what
I
I
just don't know how she did it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how she managed.
But in a way, it was also, it could be easier for her because they were actual real like family ties, relatives, weren't they?
She was,
yeah.
she was like nicking stuff from the real profile and sticking the fake
and
profile.
copy and pasting. So in a way, she actually had that circuit of people that she knew
So
to
she could
copy.
she could take it from real people. Okay,
Yeah,
I get you.
in a way,
Like
so-
life events and that.
But yes, it's still hard work. It was still very complicated. But
Yeah.
It just makes it worse, but I guess it's easier to follow because you're just reporting what's happening in someone else's life.
Yeah, in a way, you're kind of like the middleman almost.
yeah,
Yeah. I find it mad that she got a crazy role in Barclays.
Yeah, so actually, I used to work at Barclays as well.
Oh no! Oh my
right.
god!
Are you gonna tell us that you're Simran?
Are you Simran?
Oh my god, imagine.
Have we got an exclusive? Am I going to get like 1,000 views for once?
You just won the lottery.
Well, it is.
No,
it
I'm
is-
not Simran.
It's a big lottery tonight, isn't it? It's 149 million. Right, okay, so you're not Simran. We've got that on record.
No. I can prove that by if you want videos. Don't release it. But yeah, the VP role it sounds like really bigger than it is. It stands for vice president, but it's really high for like her age when she was a VP. But it's not like the CEO or anything.
No.
So are there lots of VPs or something?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I've got friends who are like AVPs and they're 30. Like AVP is assistant vice president.
All right.
Yeah.
It's because I think everyone, like me, everyone's just used to there being one vice president, but it seems like banking has got loads of them.
Yeah. But it's really impressive that she was a VP by 29.
Young age.
Yeah. I reckon that she...
Manipulation.
Yeah, I reckon that she catfished her way up. And
Coercive controlling.
blackmailed,
Oh my god.
blackmailed her way up. Yeah, that's what I reckon.
Oh my god.
So I reckon that there's a Barclays boss out there somewhere who's sweating.
Her CV's not real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god. It is a skill though, like I can't I don't even know how she managed to do it. And I'm really shocked that she came clean in the end.
That's what I was saying as well. Like she
Like
can't...
face to face as well. That was quite shocking.
Yeah. It was interesting that, because like, I was like, but she could have got away with not saying a word though.
Could she? But she was going to go to the police.
Okay then, I don't know if the police can track it. Probably could track it, I suppose.
But I probably, like, if I was Simran, which I'm not, if I was her, I probably would have, because at that point, he had called Simran, and Simran had said, oh, this is my, like, cousin, she's not well, she's going to go home. And then, like, Kirat was messaging fake Bobby. Like, fake Bobby could have said, yeah, you've like caught me, I'm like living with my wife and my child, and yeah, I don't want to be with you anymore, and then just like ended it there.
Yeah. Do you know what? I reckon...
No, but didn't the real Bobby say, I'm gonna report this, and if that went to the police, then Kirat and Simran would have took Kirat to the police station, surely, or they would have investigated, wouldn't they? Because the real Bobby's not going to just leave it. Do you know what I mean? They were traumatized by it.
Yeah, at the same time though, I suppose we don't know how far the police would have taken it. They might
But
have
the real Bobby would have raised the claim, and then Simran might have came clean to him.
Oh yeah, actually.
And not told Kirat.
Yeah.
And then even if Simran didn't come clean to him, there's only so much that the police can do in these situations. Like, they could have just said, oh, Kirat's not well, and this has all happened because Kirat's not well, and gotten away with that. But then I guess, like, all of the stuff about Kirat knowing about his child and having pictures about, like, of his child and stuff, is quite concerning. The police might look into that a bit more.
Yeah, because that stuff's that's a bit weird. I've got a feeling that Simran was scared that Kirat was going to do something crazy to Bobby and his family, like wife or something. That's what I think. Yeah.
Oh my god!
I reckon that's why Simran came in to like quieten it down, because it's like this is getting to boiling point. It's getting a bit scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's
She was saying that she like was going to
Run her
run
over.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like she'd walked past the front of her car or something, and she was like, "Yeah, I was going to run her over." And then apparently she's backpedaled and said no.
I don't know, like that would make sense to me.
Yeah, I reckon that's why Simran jumped in like, oh god, I better do something quick before she does something even more scary. Like,
Yeah, maybe that's true.
And then she would actually get into trouble, Simran.
Yeah.
If something like that happened.
Yeah. And then this would have been like a different Netflix documentary. It would have been one of those from prison, one of them prison jobs, where they go into prison and speak to them. Yeah.
Yeah, what's your guys', just out of curiosity, like, what's your guys' impression of like the interviews that Kirat's done?
Oh, this is. I was just about to talk about this as well. So perfect segue.
Very good question.
Go on, you go. Go on.
You answer it.
Well, me answer it. All right.
Go on.
So, I feel like there's lots of backpedaling going on. There's a lot of like, it wasn't 9 years, it was only 3 years. I mean, it was only 2 years. I mean, I don't even know the guy. So I feel like there's a lot of that. I feel like there's a lot of, it's just some more contradictions coming out. Like, yeah, me and Simran are, I call her my sister, but then suddenly she'll go, no, I don't really know Simran that well.
Yeah.
And for me, one of the biggest things, which I'm still don't understand, it's like, she said in the documentary that this is a tight-knit community. And same in the podcast, which they did, it's a tight-knit community, everyone knows everyone. But I'm like, well, how did the news not get from Kirat to Bobby that this woman is saying that she's with you, But in terms of the interviews, I feel like Kirat is going to people who basically agree with her and enable her.
Yeah.
Yeah, people aren't really like questioning or helping her take accountability. And I don't know how much that's helping Kirat, because I think Kirat needs the help.
Yeah.
I feel like she's getting into a more healthy space slowly, but I don't know if she's going the right way about it. I think taking accountability, having the tougher discussions, and just saying, hey guys, yep, I messed up. It is what it is. It happened. It was a big public mess up, but it's happened. Go on now, you go on.
I feel like the ones that we've watched, the interviewers are not asking the right questions. They're tiptoeing and around her. They feel almost like, I know this sounds a bit mean maybe, like I feel like they possibly think or believe that she may have got some mental illness going on. And so that's why they're being extra careful and saying what she wants to hear.
I get that.
Do you know what I mean?
Because it's very vulnerable and it's very sensitive.
It is,
go on.
but I just feel like there's a way of saying it, or like maybe just wording it differently, and you can't all just ask the same questions.
Go on, sorry, go ahead, what were you going to say?
I was asking, what would those questions be then?
Interesting.
Just like make her admit that there was somewhere something she did wrong.
I'd probably, in fact, I would probably ask.
Like, for example, why did you go wedding dress shopping when you've never met the man yet?
A fair shout. Yeah, so that's a good one. Or I would say, like, what suspicions did you have of the guy? And, like, at what point? You know what I mean? Because she's definitely got to have suspicions about him.
There's just too many questions, I think, isn't there? There's too many areas where it just doesn't make sense for me.
Yeah.
And that's what the interviews post the release of the Netflix show are showing. Like, there's so many inconsistencies.
So many.
Yeah, they do say that. A lot of them start off the intro with like, there's a lot of questions that need asking, etc.
And then they just let her talk about the same things.
Yes, and then they proceed to not ask the questions, and I kind of feel like she goes off topic as well. Like, she doesn't stick to the actual question, and like
100%. It's even if they're trying to ask a bit of a harder question, you just end up. And she's so good at speaking. Like, you can tell why she's on radio. She's so and I said this to my sister. Like, when I saw your podcast, actually, I sent it to my sister, and I was like, wow, like I just love hearing her speak because she's so good at it. But then it's almost like a politician's talk where
yes,
you end up like completely different. You don't even know what you're listening to anymore, but you're
Yeah.
agreeing for
Yeah.
some reason.
Yeah, and she gets away from the question quite skillfully and moves on to something else like really quite well. And that's where I can see her intelligence. That's where I'm like, you're intelligent. You're on the ball.
I think she is intelligent. This is my take now. I think she's super intelligent, but I don't think that she is as socially aware as she portrays, because she like will paint the scene of like, so even this Henry that she was on, like she said that she's like the responsible friend and she'll take everyone home.
Yeah.
Fine, okay, like if you don't drink, okay. But she also said in an interview with this guy on YouTube, I literally watched it today, and she was saying that like she's the one in the family who like goes to the adults arrangements and like keeps up with the culture stuff, and like sometimes like the people her age, like her peers, like within the community, they don't go to these events, but she'll go to the ones where the elders are, and she made her family tree for her family, and like she's really invested in all of these things that don't necessarily appeal to her age. And I do think that like my impression is she maybe doesn't have that many like close friends. I think she has friends, but I don't think there's people in her day-to-day life.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, defo.
And I think that's how, if you get someone like Simran who's like so controlling and like is trying to keep this horrible secret a secret, like you're able to basically control the entire reality of someone like Kirat, because they don't really have immediate like people like right there that aren't her elderly parents.
Yeah, agree totally. And I just feel like Simran proper knew that like Kirat is. It's interesting that as well, because Kirat is even in that description, Kirat is involved in community and stuff, but at the same time alienated from it. Isn't it an interesting mix? But yeah, I can see how she's like very much in like the whole parent circle, the elders circle. I feel like part of that contributed to her, in a way, her lack of rebellion.
Yeah.
Because she listened to a lot of what they would say, like, you've got to do it this way, got to do it
It's
that
what
way.
is expected of her, isn't it? From her community and family.
Yeah.
It might not be what she wants, but she knows it's expected, and it's a good thing.
It's good. It's
So
seen
she's
as good
doing it,
in the community. That's seen as good. But I feel like on the flip side, that has contributed to her lack of street smarts.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Or even modern day like younger people relationships.
Yeah.
Like, you know, sometimes you'll just like be like, oh, I'm going to go meet up with a friend after work or something. Like, I think it seems like her life was so regimented and like structured and almost like how like my parents would be, and she kind of fell in, like, it sounds like she was like in that kind of bracket of like not really having her immediate flexible life outside of her family.
Yeah. Like massively a homebody, maybe too much, not socialising really enough, or
and that's another thing, like the socialising. Sorry to put
No, you go for it.
No, go.
I was just going to say that if she goes out with her friends, she's one of those who's just a number, not to be tight, Kirat, but like just a number type thing. But go on.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, that's another thing. So when I listen to her talk in these interviews, and as I said before, she's so captivating. Like, she can really talk, and like you don't even have to ask her many questions. Like, she'll just go.
Yes.
And I think that's part of like the relationship she had with this Bobby person, the fake Bobby, is like she can sit and talk on the phone really with not much interaction, I think.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And that allows her to continue living in this. She's not really getting fed that much information, like from Bobby, really, like, or from her own life, like outside with her friends. So she's just like probably chatting on the phone for ages, and that allows her to stay in this bubble that they've created.
Yeah. Do you know what? When you just said fed information, then, like, that just triggered me there, like, because there was that thing, wasn't there, where she would say something to Simran, and then a few weeks later, Simran would like say it back to her as Bobby.
Oh yeah.
Like, I sent Bobby this like hamper with this many flowers and blah blah blah, and then Bobby would give the same description back. I just
Oh my
found that
God.
crazy. But yeah, I think that that I don't. Do you reckon that there's any kind of link here? You know, that kind of talking, that kind of, in a way, that kind of oversharing or going on a bit too much about one topic. Do you reckon that is a sign of like a mental health condition? Because I kind of think it is. Because I feel like when we get stressed, when we're not mentally too well, when we're stressed out and all that, or mentally exhausted, we can overthink, we can ruminate, we can start doing those kinds of things, and problems get bigger than they actually are when we're not feeling too mentally strong. And I feel like that there's an indicator there in Kirat that there is just, I think it's a sign of trauma. She's been through something traumatic, and that needs working on. It needs real attention. That's what I feel like. And
Yeah.
yeah.
No, completely agree with that. And if you think about the last few years of her relationship with fake Bobby, she even said, I don't know if it was in the documentary or the podcast or wherever it was, she said that, like, because he couldn't speak, sometimes she'd just have to speak at him.
Oh yeah.
And like, if she's already someone who's like having panic attacks and these things, like the way that Simran was isolating her, like, it will drive you to a level of like mental illness, and to a certain degree. Like, she's sat there all night on the phone and reading stories, and it's essentially monologuing because that's what Bobby wants.
Yeah.
You will start to feel it will impact you, and I feel like, and I mean, it's probably not my place to say, but like, I do kind of get that sense when I'm watching her interviews now.
Yeah.
That
Same.
she's still a little bit like that.
Same here. I just really hope that she's gone out there and really looked for like the right therapy and the right help, and really taken time to like go over it and go through it.
Yeah.
And yeah, what you mentioned there was amazing as well, in terms of she read all of Harry Potter to him, didn't she? One of them.
She did.
I actually want that version.
I would listen. I would pay good money for that.
So would I. I would actually pay for it too.
Why?
What? Because it's it's part of Kirat law, isn't it?
God's sake.
It's part of it's real, I actually think
She's really good. She's really good, really talented, and I think she needs to focus on her talents and start detaching from this.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I hope that Netflix paid her well. And by the way, somewhere we found one of Simran's messages. It was on a Vice. You'll find it. Vice did the little documentary about this whole Kirat thing before Netflix did, and they actually had the picture of Simran and stuff like years ago, and it's on the Vice documentary. And we had to pause it, but you have to watch it and then pause it, and then you will see a message from Simran to Kirat. And I've really got to give her credit. The writing was amazing. It was convincing.
so what was the message?
It was something like, it was one of those where she was pretending to be a doctor. So she was being one of his medical staff, and she was messaging Kirat just about a procedure or about where he is at the moment, how his progression's going, something like that. I can't remember like the actual details. I might put it at the end of this video, no promises.
Please do.
I might. It's somewhere on a screenshot, or I might screenshot
Because
it.
you guys mentioned the Vice documentary, because I think it was in the part 2 where you said there's a picture going around of Simran.
Yep.
And like that the Vice one is the right one.
Yeah.
And I searched it like on the internet, and I couldn't find the Vice thing that you saying. So if you can post that.
All right, I'll post it.
Has it been taken down?
It might be taken down. Can you imagine? Our thumbnail though, which is the part 2 thumbnail, that is from the Vice documentary. So that is
the picture.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So we nicked that.
Be careful your video doesn't get taken down.
Just change the thumbnail, it'll be right. But yeah, very interesting. And I suppose should we call it pretty much a day there then? What do you think? Is there anything that you want to say to the people while you're here? To the 10 people that will watch this or hear this?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was like quite nervous to come and talk about that. I was going to cancel last minute, and I thought that'd be rude if I did that. But it's quite. I'm ashamed to have done the catfishing, and it's not okay. And I hope that this can provide some kind of insight as to how things can spiral out of control. And in desperation of keeping the secret a secret, I can see the controlling aspect from Simran's side to isolate Kirat, to do anything that she can to keep it quiet, really.
Yeah.
I hope this gives a bit of perspective as to how things can get out of hand.
Yeah. And to like keep a lid on it while she would do certain things. And so I suppose this is also a message to anybody else out there who is catfishing, even if it is for a positive outcome, you know, just take it easy, because it can get dangerous pretty quick, I suppose, or it can get hurtful
Just
pretty
stop, honestly. Even if you want to kill them off, like, you don't have to. You don't have to do anything. Just stop doing it. You can even disappear. You don't just go. Just stop. It can always, just by logging out and shutting your laptop, you can stop. So just do that, and the relief that you'll feel. I remember it to this day.
Yeah, because it's kind of a chapter being over, isn't it? When you stop that and let it go.
Yeah.
But it was. I'm glad I spoke to you guys, and it was a memory that I blocked out. But I'm glad I've spoken about it. I feel like I got some closure from it as well. But yeah, thank you for letting me come on.
It's all right.
Thank you for coming on and sharing your story with us.
Yeah, thank you so much. And maybe we'll start a end your catfish support group where then people can find different ways to creatively end their catfish, and that could be good.
I think you're onto something.
I'm copywriting it, taxed. But no, thank you so much for sharing it with us and getting in touch.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at myself at how fast. I just thought, let's just do it,
Yeah, no, try something new.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for allowing us to put it online and all that lot. And yeah, it'll all be kept as anonymous as possible, especially aside from your handle being out there, being Caroline.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. What do you think of that? That was interesting.
That was interesting. I didn't expect it to be tar.
You've turned your mic off. Are you saying, what are you saying?
I thought it was finished.
Well, not necessarily finished. We could do a little bit of an ending, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know when it's on, I suppose, don't you?
She's tired, she.
I don't know. I think so. I think so.
I think so, because she said our parents.
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah. Just talking to it 1 second.
I should have asked her, are you Asian? Wait a second. I know you're not a Simran. I should have asked, are you South Asian?
Well, there's no guarantee. I suppose it's all about putting things together and stuff, but that doesn't narrow it down. That's still very anonymous.
Yeah.
That's still very anonymous, isn't it? So that still works.
Yeah.
But very nice and bubbly and stuff.
Yeah.
Informative. And do you know what? I can see it. I can understand that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It starts off as to make someone look a bit cool or feel a bit cool. Give someone that unique edge.
No, that was good. That was good insight, because that might have been Simran's story.
I know. And do you know what? It actually is very much like Simran's story, because Simran started off. Do you remember how she first started?
No, but she's still a psychopath, though, because she did it for way too long.
Yeah, and she hurt somebody.
And she knew she was hurting someone.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to give her any credit there, but
in terms of, because a lot of this is people trying to understand what happened.
Just going back to how she started it, that could be similar, it came from a very innocent, helping, supportive, point of view. She was trying to help Kira, encourage her and make her happier.
Well, if
that
we go
kind
back,
of thing.
If you go back to the start, right? Simran started off by putting holiday pictures up when she ain't been on them holidays.
Yeah.
That was the proper beginning.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about actually catfishing.
Okay. Yeah, but let
Correct.
me just get to what I was going to say, right? So what's interesting is, right, how this started and the the connections in it. And it makes me feel like there must be more people out there doing this.
Yeah, of course there is.
But what I mean, though, is like doing this in a positive way. Not doing somebody over way. And not trying to like, I want to marry you, but like, I'm South Asian, but really I'm an American businessman. What I mean is like to boost someone's ego a little bit, to make someone feel a bit better on that day or two. And then it all gets into a spiral. So let me just go into what I'm going to say, yeah? So starts off with like pictures on holiday. Next thing, what was it? No, yeah, so it was literally holiday pictures. Then it goes into pulling the boyfriend guy. But that went a bit wild because it was like someone's in hospital dying and they want to speak to you. Weird. And then from there, because you've got this toolkit already built, you can now help a cousin or help a person, which is similar to the story of our guest just here. Because our guest created someone just to feel good or whatever, etc., just for whatever reason, just for like something, to have something unusual, which in an all-girls school, I get it, a guy, skater boy, etc., I get it. And then something's happened in the friend group, and you now want to help a certain friend, and so you boost their ego a bit with a tool that you've already got here ready built. And so you activate it and have a conversation. Next thing, it goes a bit too far. That friend gets a bit suspicious. You create two other friends to make it more realistic. You know what I mean? The snowball, I think one key word here was snowball, like it can really snowball. And I think the second thing is more of a theme of like, you were kind of trying to help and it just went a bit on its own path. Those are interesting points, I think. And those are things which we may not have seen really without this conversation, I suppose. And it has really made me think that there are people out there who are doing that, more that are doing that. I hate to say it, like for some reason in my head, like I've got this thing about a parent who like has got a kid and the kid's like very vulnerable, and so the parent creates a profile and befriends their own kid. I don't know why that's going through my head, but
God.
do you know what I mean though?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That could like easily exist. And then you got like perhaps neighbours even doing it. Neighbours feeling bad about a neighbour or somebody in the neighbourhood. It could go in so many directions, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But like a lot of people who, catfish, they just do it like out of curiosity or a bit of fun, a bit of entertainment, not long term. It's most of them are, very short term thing.
Yeah, this was very like long term.
This is like, it's a rare situation.
Yeah, the sweet
like
puppy thing
10
was.
years.
Yeah, of course. That's. I think that's what it is, isn't it? That's what the whole thing
Yeah.
is. But I suppose we don't know. We don't know if there are like catfishes out there that haven't gone on this long. We don't know them.
I guess.
Could be a thing.
I
Might
like
be
to
more
think
common than we
it's
think.
rare.
Yeah. Because in a way, I feel like this has made the penny drop a little bit. And what I mean by that is, I feel like this is kind of justifies Kirat's whole pursuit of catfish victims. All of us walk around like, we're not affected. We're on about catfish victims. It never happens. But then when you look at this and the perspective, the angles it went down and the angles it goes down, especially the compassion route, the true compassion route, and how that can then become a relationship where like, oh, I kind of can't end this. And then they both kind of can't end this. It started off with me helping a certain person, but now that's a part of my life. Do you know what I mean? Now if I stop this, it feels like a breakup.
Yeah.
For me, let alone them. And that whole conversation with our guest, that whole conversation about relief, like once it was over, I felt relief. You can really see that. Well, I suppose we'll call that there. Massively appreciative to our guest for speaking to us.
Yeah.
Are you happy you're part of it? She's just pulling a face at me. But yes, thank you again for being part of this podcast and being on the call, etc. Thanks for reaching out. That was a brilliant call. And thanks for letting us share your story. Massively appreciated. And yeah, I really like that message at the end. Like, if somebody is catfishing somebody, even for a positive reason, just stop. You know, just stop, I suppose. And just, you know, life is a thing where you can't just manipulate things. You've got to let life take its course and stuff like that. And sometimes that's easier said than done, but we know how it goes. Right, anything?
No.
Nope. Okay, thanks all for watching. And again, special thanks to our guest. And take it easy, guys. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.